Welcome everyone to our monthly update, the Wealth Update. We've renamed it, give it something a different tone. We've got Craig Holly, our fellow financial advisor, with us. How are you, Craig?
Good, thanks, Matt. Good to be here and great to be back in the office, which is awesome. So what's on for today, Matt?
Yep, so a bit of an office update. So yes, as you can see, a couple of us are back in the office. So from next week, we'll have most of our team back in, but various days. So splitting days at home versus days in the office, so to be COVID safe. Face-to-face appointments, we're back to doing those, but obviously under COVID safe restrictions. So but we're still offering Zoom and telephone appointments. So clients are comfortable doing it via Zoom or phone. We're happy to accommodate that. You'll see there's sanitizer and signage everywhere in our office. So we've got all the COVID safe measures in place. So be aware of that when you come in. And then today, two topics, obviously getting towards the end of financial year. So a bit on super, which I'll talk about, and then Craig's got some budgeting and cash flow. That's a big one that clients often ask about. So, superannuation. So I suppose, why is super such a hot topic this time of year? To us, it's one of probably the best investment vehicles when you look at it from a tax point of view, and being accountants, tax is dear to our hearts. And you can see here the difference over 10 years of investing within super versus outside of super. It assumes the same return, but the tax savings is where you get bang for buck. So that $450,000 initial investment gives you an extra 100 grand over 10 years. Yes, there's set returns in there, etc., but it shows you the benefit of inside versus outside of super. So the first point I want to have a chat about is just making the most of your 25 grand concessional or tax deductible contribution to super each year. So a lot of us, whether we're working or working for ourselves, employers will contribute to us if we're an employee. But you've got this $25,000 you can put into super. So if work puts in $10,000, you could either salary sacrifice or make a lump sum contribution before the end of the year. And people in the highest tax bracket, you can save up to $8,000 in tax. So there's a big tax reason why you do this, as well as boosting your retirement savings. A new measure that came in place from 1 July 2019 was catch-up contributions. So simplest way to explain that is, last year I put 10 grand into super. I could have put up to 25 and claim a tax deduction for it. I didn't. So the 15 grand I didn't put in last year rolls forward to this current financial year. So it allows you to sort of catch up for previous years, as long as your total super balance is below 500,000. So you've got to be wary of that one. The next one, people often forget about this, is spouse contributions. So if you have a partner, you can actually contribute up to $3,000 into their super, and you get the $540 tax offset. But obviously there's an income amount your partner must be below, which is this $37,000. So often forgotten about, but that one's there for people as well. And the other one that's been around for many years now is government co-contributions. So it's 50 cents for every dollar if you're earning a bit less than 38 grand. So you get a maximum of $500 extra into your super. So for low income earners, that's a Monty. It tapers off the amount that goes in up to 53,000. So again, a good strategy each year if you're working with a lower income or part-time. Often students who work part-time, this is a good one for them as well. So have a look at that one as well. Obviously with any of these, this is all general sort of factual information. So come and have a chat to us about your personal situation, and we'll see how a lot of these apply to yourself. So Craig, cash flow and budgeting, obviously very topical at the moment given what's going on out there in the world with COVID-19, and a lot of people are checking budgets and seeing where they can cut back on expenses. So over to yourself for a few tips and traps potentially.
Thanks, Matt. Yep, some great tax strategies there for pre-June 30, but another thing people are doing now that they have time on their hands generally is actually thinking about their budget. So it's not the most exciting thing to think about in normal times, but now that you've got a bit of time on your hands, it's a great thing to do. So, but one thing we always advise, it doesn't need to be complex. It's a simple budget is a good budget. Anything too complex and you generally don't stick to it. An important part is, yes, we ensure your bills are paid, the roof's over your head, debts are paid, investments are taken care of, super is taken care of if that's part of your strategy, and then you pay yourself. So you basically got whatever's left over is your spending money. So you know day to day, there's not going to be no random direct debits coming out of that account, that spending account, that's just your spending money. So it's peace of mind to know that things are taken care of. Another key point there is clearing your high interest debts first. So credit cards, personal loans, things like that. They're cash flow killers. So if you can get rid of them, that frees up cash flow immensely, which is a great first step. Cash buckets work very well in instances like this. So we set yourself up with a bills account, savings account, and a spending account as an example. So we can go into much more detail with this, but this is just a very high level overview. But the important thing is to put your money to work and get in control of your finances. Basically, that's the key there. And then the next one is, so basically this is the steps to building your budget. So we help you with this obviously, but we need to set a clear time frame. So whether it's fortnightly, monthly, weekly, whatever it is, we estimate your income that's coming in. So whatever's coming in versus what's going out, obviously, and expenses, and then work out the difference. So it's not rocket science, but once it's set up, we know exactly what we've got to work with in terms of surplus cash flow, and then we put that money to work, whether it's investments, whether it's killing off debt, whether it's super, there's a whole range of things. So it's what's most important to you. And then reviewing your budget. Really, reviewing shouldn't be too hard. It should be a 10-15 minute job per month at the most, just to make sure that everything's ticking over as planned, whether things have changed, income, bills, things like that. And just to keep it up to date. So that's the key one there. And then in terms of the right vehicle for your savings. So once we've got that surplus figure in mind, we've set that figure, we've set your financial goals to marry up with that figure, then we work out what are the short-term needs. So any short-term needs, generally 1 to 2 years, roughly. We use bank accounts, term deposits. Medium term, 2 to 5 years, we might look at things like managed funds, which opens up the asset allocation, but not to a hugely risky level. And then if we go to long term, 5+ years, that's when we start looking at direct shares, whether it be outside of super or inside super, just to get the benefit of the long-term growth out of the markets. But again, we help with all of this. We've got the tools, we've got the calculators to go through this with you. So please reach out. We're happy to help anytime when needed. So thanks, Matt, for the tax updates. Anything more on your side of things?
No, I think it's like this time of year, we're only 6 weeks away from June 30, so probably now's the time to start looking at whether it's setting the budget for next financial year or looking at your super towards the end of the financial year. That's a big one. So time will fly, and at the moment, life isn't starting to get back to some sort of new normal, but a lot of people have got time on their hands, so it's a good time to look at these things. So, but no, great update, Craig. Thank you to everyone, and we're here to help. So jump on our website or give us a call. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.